I mean, but to be safe than sorry. I mean, you're going to set up in a good field position. They are at midfield, so he probably could have tried to run in there, but it's okay. I mean, you got you're in a good field position.
Yeah, and the way they moved the ball at least the last drive, they were certainly on the move, and they stalled on that fourth down play. And they picked up good yardage on it. They just fell about a yard short. So
Enoch Watson under center. French about 5 yards back in the line here. Here's a snap, gives to Cooper. Cooper turns the corner, crosses midfield, goes across the 45, and he's stacked up and dropped pretty much at the 45. Gain about 5 yards on the play for Cooper French, and now bring up 2nd and 5 for the Panthers. We're trying sound now on the YouTube channel. We'll see how this works. We've got a microphone sitting right here. Probably not going to be great, but again, we're giving this a shot. I mean, we're going to get better each game here. So
and it's better than no sound, right?
Again, we're broadcasting this live tonight on the YouTube channel. Go to Great Circle Media on YouTube, and you can watch the game right now as we're broadcasting. Under center, Enoch Watson. Here's the snap. Give. Cooper French crosses the 45 to the 40. Gets enough for the first down. You think? Depending where he's spot. Yeah, he's gonna have enough for first down. But there was I think I saw a flag on the play there. Yeah, right there at about the 43-yard line. And holding on Coconino.
Oh, can't afford moving backwards.
Especially when you just get a first down. So that'll move him back. And that'll bring up 2nd and at least 15, probably where the spot of the hold was. And second and 13.
All the way up on the 47-yard line.
By the way, Cooper French is 1 yard away from breaking 1,000 on the season. He's got 67 yards in this game.
Quite a milestone in just 6 games, but without a win here, doesn't mean as much.
Here's a snap. Back to pass on the rollout. Zenith. He's just going to throw it away and does. And was in the area of his older brother, Pearson Watson. And that'll bring up 3rd and 13, where he's pressured there and he had to get rid of the ball and did in the area of an actual receiver this time, unlike Bradshaw in the first quarter. Not that I'm holding a grudge on that one. But it brings up 3rd and 13 for Coconino. I can homer it a little bit. I've never seen him. Never. Just say, he threw it at the area of the lineman. He didn't call intentional run. Anyway. I don't think he declares a tight end, number 63, but it's just me. Brady Rose, Enoch Watson in the shotgun. Watson, his older brother, Pearson goes in motion. Enoch back to pass, looks, fires, and misses Jonathan Jaramillo down there about the 33-yard line, incomplete. Now bring a 4th down. Coconino punt the ball away. As they go 3 and out here with 2:09 to go in the first quarter. Again, 14-0. Bradshaw Mountain leads Coconino here in the first half.
Yeah, that's just one of those things that sometimes you get with an inexperienced quarterback. You know that he's got a strong arm. He did have Pearson Watson open as he broke free right around where the first down mark would be. Would have been a first down, and he didn't see it.
Yeah, but it'll come.
It will come.
It'll come. He's still, like I said, he's still young. Enoch's now going to kick the ball away. Does, and it's called for a fair catch up at about the 35-yard line. I think we were spotted here. 34. So Bradshaw, better field position in this drive as he starts 1st and 10 at their own 34 with 2:01 to go until halftime. Again, we had a few little technical difficulties. Again, our wireless mic, because I think someone was saying there's radio towers like on the top of the light post here or something. I think it's messing with our wireless mic. So we're going to have to go old school tonight a little bit, and hopefully at the end of the game we'll get Coach Lopsy up here in the booth, and we'll talk to him the old-fashioned way. He's young; he can come up here. So anyway, sometimes you got to deal with this stuff, and definitely dealing with it. Here's the snap. Give us to that's Dean, and he gets a couple yards on the play. He gets down to about the 38-yard line. Gain about 4, maybe 5 on the play, and bring up 2nd and 5 for Bradshaw Mountain.
Well, it's really important here for the Panthers, just for their confidence, that they at least keep the Bears off the board here for the remainder of the half. We get into 35 seconds. Doesn't look like
nothing big.
Bradshaw Mountain is going to try to do anything spectacular here, going into halftime with a 14-point lead.
Yeah, you got to keep the ball in front of you at this rate. Bradshaw's going to get the ball in the second half. Here's a snap. Give is to the first man. Let me see the number is there. I think that was Kelly. Actually, that was number 10 for Bradshaw on the carry. We shuffled a few new guys in here. As that was a Brock Fringer, who was actually an inside linebacker, gets a carry there. Close to a first down, brings up third and a long one, maybe a short two here at the Bradshaw 43-yard line. So big play here, possibly for the Coconino defense.
Make sure get up top.
Right. Brady Rose under center. And there's going to be a timeout, I believe. Bradshaw, we'll keep it right here with 39 seconds to go in the first half. Bradshaw needing about a yard or two for the first downs. We are approaching halftime again for Coconino. You got to keep Bradshaw out of the end zone, keep it within 2 touchdowns, and then get in the locker room and kind of reset. I mean, I think offensively they've done better in the second quarter than they did in the first, but again, they're short on fourth downs. They had a couple turnovers. Got to settle down and refocus and get back in this football game.
Well, you can talk about the turnovers. You can talk about just the way they started this game with, not really coming out and necessarily matching the emotion that the Bradshaw Bears started the football game with. But that said, down 14 points, and at the end of the first quarter, it looked like it could get a lot worse. So, when you take all of that into context, the Panthers, a good football team that can certainly respond at halftime and get back in this.
Grady Rose with the keeper gets enough for the first down and then some. Gain of about maybe 4 yards on the keeper. Crosses the 45 down about the 47-yard line, so it'll be first and 10. Bradshaw at their own 47, but the clock's ticking, 30 seconds to go, and Bradshaw's not looking really too urgent to want to get the ball going here, and looking to possibly even run out the clock here and be done with it. So
they're going to get the football first to start the second half.
Well, true, but I mean, why not give it a shot to put more points on the board?
At least with one shot down the field.
Yeah, you'd think so. But they're just not wanting to. They're just kind of huddling up there, and they're now under 10 seconds to go. They maybe take a delayed game here, possibly. I'm not sure how much time as far as the play clock goes. But they won't. Yeah, they're going to let it run down, and that's it. So we're at halftime. The score, Bradshaw Mountain 14, Coconino nothing. Back with the old Route 66 Chevron halftime show next on the Highland 4 Coverage High School Sports Network. Yeah, no, there's too much static to get it to work. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me? Paige? Okay. No, yeah, are you still with me? Coconino 14-0 here at halftime, and in for Reggie Eccleston this week is my old friend, as he's told me now a couple times he's old, Jeff Kennedy. And by the way, he is the host of the critically acclaimed and award-winning Faith the Competitive Edge show that's heard on Saturday mornings here on Cap Country 93.5 at AM 930 at 7:30 in the morning, and doing that show for about a little bit over a year, and had a lot of fun with that. And we invite you to join us because we have people from all around around the area. I mean, we had the voice of the Bradshaw Mountain Bears on last week, our good friend Matt Showalter. We've had Shane Doan and Jerry Colangelo, and big names like that. This week's show is Mike Jarvis that we talked to earlier this year, the former St. John's coach, who beat NAU in the NCAA tournament, by the way. Actually, I was too in Tucson. So we invite you to join in. It's a great program, and you'll find a lot of good things about some of the good people we've talked to. We continue to talk to on the show, and took a week off. We have to recycling through a Mike Jarvis show. So we invite you to go check it out. Again, 7:30 every Saturday morning here on Camp Country 93.5 and AM 930. So Jeff, welcome back in the booth. I know it's you've done this a couple times over the last couple of years, and I don't know, does it feel good to be back up in here and we're calling high school football this week?
Oh, it's always fun. And I always loved calling high school sports. Most of us in this business, it's kind of where we get our start. And then you move on and you do some other things, and all of that's great. But really, nothing replaces the feel that you get coming out on Friday night. The football game, young men playing for the love. And I don't criticize pay-for-play athletes like a lot of people, because I understand the business, but I also understand that it's men in business still playing the boys' game. That boys' game, the dream of being able to play at that level, it starts right here. And these young men that come out and they play high school, some of them are going to go on and they're going to have an opportunity to do something at another level. And some of them, this is the last time that they're going to play competitive sports is here in high school, and so it's a really good deal. It's always fun. We get an opportunity to interact with some of the parents as well, and then coaches that are out here that are just like enjoying and laughing and loving being around the kids and making a positive impact on the young men that they coach. So yeah, it's been great. Honestly, I'd like to do more of it, Dave. So I spoil easily, so make sure you ask me again.
Well, here's the thing: is that it's Reggie's gig. You're going to have to arm wrestle for it. And he's already claimed next week's spot from a jovial standpoint, because he wants to go to. I think we're going to end up going to Havasu, and we're not going to ruin what we're going to do. Listen, how we're getting there is really cool, honestly.
I'm going to come along as your personal valet.
Okay? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say. We're making history, I think, with how we're going to get to Havasu next week, but. Coconino's got to kind of, help us out a little bit and get back in this game and get a win out here in Bradshaw to make next week even more exciting than what it's going to be. So we'll see how that goes in the second half. Let's take a look at the stats for the first half. Pretty much dominated by the Bradshaw Mountain Bears for the most part, at least balance-wise. They have 68 yards on the ground, 45 yards in the air. They are dominated on the ground right now by Joel Dean. 7 carries, 38 yards for him, for Bradshaw. And I'm trying to maneuver my laptop here to do some things. For Coconino, Cooper French actually has got over 1,000 yards. 15 carries, 67 yards. So he's 1,004 yards rushing on the season. But he's had a pretty good game. Honestly, from his standpoint, it's kind of lower output, but still 15 carries, 67 yards is not bad a game for him. But, after that, I mean, they have like 5 yards rushing after what Cooper's done. Enoch Watson, 1 of 5 for 10 yards. Again, a slow start for him, but again, he's young. Patience got to be used there when dealing with Enoch as well. Riker Patton leads the way defensively with 4 tackles, all solo for Coconino. Tyson Fossil, the fullback, also 3.5 tackles, 3 of which are solo for him in the first half. So it's been a game that's been pretty much, I won't say dominated, but controlled by Bradshaw Mountain, as that's why they have the 14-0 lead. Both touchdowns came there in the first quarter, and it's been kind of a stalemate there in the second quarter, as Coconino has had some nice drives trying to get back in this game, but 1 yard shy of a turnover on downs, a fumble. The fumble led to a touchdown. It's been a couple little mistakes, and stuff that can't capitalize has kind of been the bugaboo for Coconino here in the first half.
Well, I honestly believe that we talk to the coaches right now, it's going to be less about those early 14 points than it is the complete body of work. And what that means is opportunities, whether or not you take advantage of opportunities or whether or not you miss opportunities. So for The Bears, they got some opportunities early in the game. They got the early turnover. They turned that into points. They got good field position. They turned that into points. And then on the other side, Coconino rights the ship. They start to play much better defensively. They start to move the football offensively, and then they miss some opportunities. And so I'm sure that's one of the things that the coaching staff is addressing with the team right now. They're saying, guys, just have to finish what we start. We've got to finish drives. We can't stall on fourth down. We've got to continue to make plays defensively. And when the football is on the ground, we got to make sure that we get on it, and we're the team that recovers it. So Bradshaw Mountain took advantage of early opportunities. Coconino Panthers missed some opportunities, particularly in that second half, where they could easily have gotten at least one score on the board, maybe a second one, and tied this football game. So the coaching staff should be encouraged, the players should be encouraged. We're talking about just a play here, a play there, an extra yard on that fourth down play, and they're right in this football game.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to take a little bit extra to get the win here tonight for Coconino. We're at halftime as the Bradshaw Mountain marching band is on the field, and the Bears lead the Coconino Panthers 14-0. Back with more on the Old Route 66 Chevron halftime show here on the Highlands 4 Covering High School Sports Network. I don't know. It's supposed to be a light that comes on. Wait a minute. Might be batteries in this. The ones I brought are just not having a light on.
Sometimes the light just isn't
So
on.
one thing, it's another. Especially with this stupid thing. This guy sucks, by the way. He didn't even announcer.
I've heard that guy before.
He's horrible. People, they pay him extra for that?
They do.
Yeah.
They do. And he earns every bit of it.
Yeah.
Right?
With you 14-0, Bradshaw Mountain leads Coconino. And we told you that right now Bradshaw Mountain has 113 yards of total offense to 82 for Coconino. Both have a turnover each, but Bradshaw Mountain 9 first downs to 3 for Coconino, and the ball control, especially in that first quarter, was huge, a huge factor for the Bradshaw Mountain Bears and why they have a lead of 14-0.
One of the stats that really tells the story, 9 first downs to 3 first downs. We saw so many of the Panthers' drives just stall out. They move the football, first down, second down. We saw a good push from the Bears defense on a couple of third down plays, but again, the Panthers just have to finish drives. They had some good things happen. They've got some things to build on. There's no question that they can run the football on this team. They're a little bit predictable in the pass offense, but they can definitely run the football on this team. And they have to make sure when they get in those third down situations that that they finish drives, don't penalize themselves. And we talked a little bit about that. There were a couple of penalties in that first half that really hurt the Panthers, that backed them up and put them in much more difficult situations, second and very long, third and long, and they were unable to convert.
Yeah, I think if you're Coconino, they started moving the ball in the second quarter pretty well. Cooper was starting to eat up some yards. The line was coming off pretty well. Stick to that. I mean, you just got to complete drives. You got to get the ball in the end zone. Obviously, the ball's kind of jumping around here a little bit for both teams. You can capitalize on a turnover, ball hits the ground, you get it, make them pay for it. And they did that to you in the first quarter, and you got to return the favor here in the second half. 14-0 is not insurmountable for a team like Coconino with the firepower they have, especially running back. But it starts right now. You got to come out and hold Bradshaw Mountain to a 3-and-out, or at least hold them so they don't not in the end zone. And then you got to your next drive. You got to eat up some yards. You got to eat up some time and start wearing out that Bradshaw defense, because that Bradshaw team came out with a ball of fire because of the emotion of senior night, and didn't really battle that too well in the first quarter. And you got to come out now, and you got to be the team that has the energy and take it to them. And if you do that, you're back in this game, and come the fourth quarter, the game will be still in question, and we may have a nice finish, and you can maybe celebrate a win going back at Flagstaff and get ready for Lake Havasu, which is a tough team, tough road game as well, a long bus trip next week as you go to a non-conference game over in the Colorado River. So before that happens, you got to win this game. You got to get this taken care of, especially if you want to host a first-round playoff game. You need to win games. You need maybe even win out. So the second half here, if you want to host a playoff game, you don't want to go to the Valley or whatever, or even Tucson, you got to come back and get this game, get this win, because Bradshaw may be playing as good as any team in the region right now.
We talked in the pregame show about staying in the moment, and that is going to be so important coming out right now with Bradshaw getting the football first. 3-and-out would be great, but the bottom line is that your defense has to step up and cause that drive to stall. Getting a big defensive play here would certainly begin to change the momentum for the Panthers, and they could use that too. But most importantly, they just have to be steady, continue to do the things that they've done well that's got them here, and I think they still have a chance to turn out very, very well for the Panthers, but it starts right now, this first drive.
Before we go to the break, we'll update you that Prescott leads Flagstaff at halftime 14-0. So talk about two schools that are paralleling each other tonight. Flagstaff, both schools are down 14-0 halftime to the Prescott area schools. So let's see if that changes here in the second half. Both teams are on warming up, and we'll be back with second half kickoff next. You've been listening to the old Route 66 Chevron halftime show on the Highland Floor Coverings High School Sports Network. Wind down the warm-up clock here.
Well, and that's what you want to see. You want them to want to get after it right now, especially if their defense is going to be out on the field early. They have to have some controlled aggression, maybe get after the football, see if they can create a turnover and, an opportunity in a short field for the offense.
So, yeah, we like we mentioned at the end of the halftime show, Coconino's got to come out. And I think they've done a pretty good job in most of the second quarter of containing Bradshaw Mountain for the most part. They need to keep that up. They need to keep the focus. That's the thing. If Coconino's focused, they're a really good football team. And if they lose focus, especially on defense, just for a little bit, things can get a little haywire. I think that's kind of what happened in the first half, the first quarter anyway. And then they started focusing. They started, remembering what Coach Schwetz and the defensive staff have kind of told them all week and started believing themselves again. I think defensively they might be in a pretty good spot right here, and they need to be here as Bradshaw's going to get the ball here in the first part of the second half.
I agree with you. It was almost, each quarter took on, its own personality. They struggled a little bit in that first quarter. Clearly, they gave up 14 points. But I really thought that in the second quarter, the Coconino defense was the better unit. They were better. They were flying around more. They were quicker to the ball than the Bradshaw Mountain defense. And they didn't have anything really to show for it, but they didn't lose any ground either. And that was so important in a game that could have become lopsided.
Coconino's going to kick the ball off as Villanueva going to be doing the honors as he puts the ball on the tee. And we're getting ready for the Flagstaff Foot Doctors kickoff. And again, second half, Coconino's been shut out here in the first half. And it's been a great job by Bradshaw Mountain, honestly. Defensively, and their energy has been all Bradshaw Mountain. Coconino's just got to match it and get back in this football game as Villanueva sets it up, kicks it off, and it is going to go out of bounds. No return there, and there's a flag, and Bradshaw's going to start first and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
Okay, so good field position for the Bears to start this second half. We saw a lot of drives in the first half start right around the 35-yard line, but it's going to be interesting to see how the Coco defense responds these first few plays of this second half, because I think that really is going to tell the story of the second half, whether or not they're ready to respond and get back in this football game.
Bradshaw comes out first and 10 at their own 35-yard line. Grady Rose under center. Man in motion. Here's a give. That's going to be the Dean. And he's wrapped up. No gain, maybe even lost a yard or two. A host of Panthers there on the play. JT Begay was there. Also, number 11 for Coconino. That was Tyler Reagan also there, and a few others. Good start to the defensive drive here for Coconino. Loss of a yard on the play brings up second and 11 for Bradshaw.
And that was something that was talked about a lot, was their ability to swarm to the football. So now you're looking at a second and 11 and keep this going. And again, I'm looking for the defense to make a big play here.
Bradshaw line under center's Rose. Here's a give. Oh, he stacked up and dropped. Pearson Watson, the first Panther on the scene, gets up and walks like a man back to the huddle. Man, that was a nice hit. I believe that was Jordan Kelly with the carry. Well, he got the ball, didn't really have a carry. And that's a loss of about another yard. Now brings up third and 11, maybe 12 here for Bradshaw Mountain at their own 34-yard line. As Coconino's defense has come out and trying to issue a statement here.
It's fortunate that Kelly was even able to hold on to that exchange, because really the contact came immediately after the exchange from the quarterback.
Grady Rose in the shotgun now, trips to the near side. Here's a snap, bat to pass, looks like he's going to keep it, and he's going to roll out, still looking. Now he's going to keep the ball, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds well short of the first down, and they're going to mark it at the 40-yard line, and that'll be a gain of about 5 on the play. That'll bring up 4th and 5 for Bradshaw Mountain. I think Coconino may have just done what they wanted to do, and that's holding the 3 and out, but right, there was no movement on the sideline for Bradshaw Mountain. They may be going for it here.
No indication yet that they're going to punt away the football.
I don't know if I mean, you got a 2-touchdown lead and you got 4 yards to go on the play, and you're going to go for it here? No, okay.
Play a field position game right here. So this is
huge. This might be the play of the game for Coconino right here so far.
And it looks like they're going to go ahead and get up. They're going to line up and punt.
Oh, okay. So they waited the last seconds. Grady Rose is going to go back and he's going to punt. So, yeah. So, basically, Coconino, for now, has held them to 3 and out. I mean, they obviously could fake it here. And there's a kick away. And Jacob brings it, lets it go over his head. Does not feel that it was was kind of out of position anyway, and he rolls to the 5-yard line. So Jacob Klaus, waited for the fair catch, but, he was over his head, so he kind of let it go. And they took a bear roll and down inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. So that's where Coconino is going to start. 1st and 10 at their own 5.
Well, and that's okay. The defense did exactly what they needed to do. They forced a 3 and out. On the punt, very good bounce in favor of the Bears. That's going to back the Coconino offense up to the 5-yard line, but it doesn't matter. Long, sustained drive here, anything, it just needs to result in points for the Panthers.
Enoch Watson back. Here's the handoff to Cooper French. Gets across the 10. He's got a little bit of a hole. Goes on the near side to the 30, 35, 40, 45. Crosses midfield, down inside the 45, about the 44-yard line. A 39-yard run at least by Cooper French, and he may be over 100 yards rushing in this football game.
Well, he would have to be with that carry right there.
I'm not doing the math.
And look at this. If you look at the difference in the Panther sideline, to start this half than what we saw to start the football game, they are fired up. They are fully engaged. The guys on the sidelines are cheering their teammates on, and we see that it's getting positive result on the field. I think that they're ready to break out here.
1st and 10 at the Bear 40. Man in motion is Matias Ortiz. Snap to Watson. Give. Cooper French tries to get across the 40, but he's wrapped up and dropped. No gain on the play there. And he's tackled there by number 54. That's Michael Kelly, defensive lineman for Bradshaw. There's a flag on the play, as now Cooper French is coming out of the game limping. No.
He's limping noticeably as he comes off the field, and the Panthers are going to get backed up. Looks like a holding penalty.
Yeah, holding call on Coconino. Let's see who's going to come in to run the football here. And it's going to be Jonathan Jaramillo, who's now in the game. And, not bad when you can have, again, a guy who was your starting running back and averaged about 140 yards a game in the first 2 games. He went left with an injury. And he's a guy now who's going to be plugged in, at least for now, as the replacement for Cooper French. So Jonathan Jaramillo in the backfield now for Coconino. Man in motion's Ortiz. Snap to Enoch Watson. Gives a Jaramillo. Runs hard between the tackles and does not get very far. Gains about a yard on the play. And Bradshaw saying he fumbled it and did. Jaramillo fumbles the ball and it's turned over to Bradshaw Mountain. Oh, boy, that is not good right there either. And now Jaramillo's coming off a little bit injured. He's had an ankle issue and looks like he's dealing with that now too.
Boy, this has been a really tough sequence for the Panthers. They get penalized 15 yards and they're facing a 1st and 25 after the huge run.
Yeah, absolutely. That was it started out pretty good, but man, it didn't finish good at all. As Bradshaw now has got the ball after the turnover at the Coconino 46-yard line. Trips to the near side for Bradshaw. Grady Rose under center. Here's a snap. Back to pass. Looks. Being pressured. Now he just heaves it up in the air. He's got a man double coverage and incomplete. And we do have a flag. The ball was intended for number 5 for Bradshaw Mountain. And that is Makai Pintinta. So we'll see what the flag is here. I think it's going to be holding on Bradshaw. Yep, holding on Bradshaw Mountain. So that's going to move Bradshaw back here. Looking on the sideline, they're tending to Jonathan Jaramillo. He's up on the training bench here.
But at least Cooper French is up on his feet right now. He hobbled off noticeably.
Like he almost got hit in the hip. More like a hip kind of a thing more than anything else. Yeah, he's just trying to stretch it out now. So hopefully we'll see him back, maybe both of them back hopefully soon. Grady Rose under center. Here's a snap. Give. That is going to be to Jordan Kelly. And he's going to be tackled in midfield by Jonathan Padilla and also Jacob Klaus. But he gets some of those yards back, but it's still going to be a second down. I think it's going to be second down and manageable now. Second and about 14 at midfield.
Well, and, probably a little bit too early to start talking about, the clock, but these are relatively short quarters at this level. And, even if the Bears are not able to get points out of these drives, you want to make sure that they're not sustaining drives, that they're not moving the chains and eating up clock.
Gives the Dean. He's
Good
cut down in
defense.
midfield there. And that play there was made by Jacob Klaus again. No gain on the play. And that'll bring up, fourth down, I think.
That's going to be third and about 14.
Boy, they changed the yard marker pretty close. As soon as he hit the ground, they moved it to third down. I'm like, wow, that's pretty quick. So, yeah, 3rd and 14 in midfield now for Bradshaw. Again, big down here for Coconino's defense.
Well, and at this point of the game, they're all big. They're all big for this defense at this point.
Grady Rose under center again. Here's the snap. Give. First man through. That's going to be Kelly. Crosses the 45. And he's got a well short of the first down. See, that was 4th and 13. So that's going to be 4th down. And let's see where the marker is. 4th and about 7 at the Panther 43-yard line. And it looks like the Bears are going to punt it away. Back to receive is Jacob Klaus. He's going to be standing at his 10-yard line. Again, you got to watch. It might be a fake situation here, but it's not. There's the kick. Jacob's going to wait for the fair catch. And this time it rolls into I think it went in the end zone, but they're going to call it. Yep, it's in. I thought it crossed in the end zone and came back out. So 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for Coconino is, the turnover there turns into nothing except just time off the clock, really. And so Coconino is going to take the ball over 1st and 10, down 14-0 to Bradshaw Mountain with 7:04 to go into third.
Well, a lot of time left. And, we saw, again, some positive things happen on that last drive before it stalled and they coughed up the football. So we keep talking about that, opportunities gained, opportunities missed. Good job by the Coconino defense to make sure that Bradshaw Mountain didn't get to benefit from the turnover.
Enoch Watson in the shotgun. Ortiz in motion. Here's the snap. Give is to, I believe that's Cooper French back in the game now. And it is. And he picks up about 4 yards on the play, or maybe 3, maybe 4 yards we'll give him. 2nd and 6 for Coconino. By the way, starting to get a little hazy. Some smoke in here. They've been doing a prescribed burn up in the Prescott National Forest. Noticed that coming in today, and smoke's drifted now into Prescott Valley. And it's getting to me. I smell it, and the eyes are watering a little bit. So got a little prescribed burn smoke here in Bradshaw Mountain here right now. Enoch Watson in the shotgun. Here's Ortiz in motion again to the other side. Here's the snap. Bat to pass. Looks. Fires. Complete at the 25. And doesn't get brought down, but he gets back to the 25. And that was complete to number 25 for Coconino. And that's Samuel Lawlinson, the receiver, sophomore wide receiver, 5'9", 449 pounds. Complete, and that brings up 3rd and 5 for Coconino at their own 25.
So another 3rd and long situation. That the ball traveled quite a distance on that pass play for just a couple of yards, but the Panthers continue to be able to move the football and got to have a 1st down here.
4 wides, and Ortiz in motion again. Now in motion is Cooper French. Bat to pass. Enoch Watson looks. Now he's going to keep it and doesn't get far and loses about a yard on the play. That's where I think maybe Enoch should have just thrown it away, but he only lost a yard. Number 10 for Bradshaw Mountain. That is Brock Fringer with the tackle, and that brings up 4th down, and Coconino's going to put it away. Jason Residio also on the tackle there. Number 10 made that. That's not number 10, but we gave Fringer the tackle there because he's first off the pile. I think he was on the first hit too. Bat to receive for Bradshaw Mountain is number 7. It's Braden Schumacher. Here's the punt by Enoch Watson. Nice kick. It's going to take a roll. Going to take a little bit of a neutral bounce, which will be down there at the Bradshaw Mountain 48-yard line. No, excuse me, that's going to be the Panther 49-yard line. Excuse me there. And that's where Bradshaw starts 1st and 10 at the Coconino 49. Again, next week, where we're going to be. Forget it. We're going to be in Havasu. We'll follow the Coconino Panthers. We're going to flex out of our schedule. We're originally going to go Flagstaff and Lee Williams, but we're going to flex out as Coconino and Havasu is going to be a decent playoff game style game. So we're making the trip to Lake Havasu next week, and we'll be on the air at 6:30 as the Panthers take on the Knights from along the Colorado River next week here on the Highland Fort County High School Sports Network. Here's a snap. Gibbs the first man through. Pearson Watson brings him down, but after about a 4-yard gain, I believe that was Ricketts. Malachi Stevenson on the carry there. So another new Bear carrying the ball, gains about 4 yards to bring up 2nd and 6 at the Panther 45.
Well, and the Panther defense just keeps finding themselves in this difficult situation. 2nd and 6. By the time they snap the ball, we're going to be right around the 4-minute mark in the third quarter, and the game starting to have a feel that it's getting away a little bit.
There's a snap, and the give is the first man through. Gain of a couple more yards. That's going to bring up a 3rd down. So 3rd and probably about 2 now. Actually, a long 3 for Bradshaw Mountain. Again, 14-0. Bradshaw leads Coconino. By the way, Bradshaw Mountain's only given up 3 points in the last 2.5 games. So it's not necessarily the offense not doing anything for Coconino. The Bradshaw's defense is playing much, much better as of late.
Looked at that stat, before this game started. You kind of look at who they're playing and figure that Coconino, especially with their ability to create offense, that they were still going to be able to score a few touchdowns in this game, and we just haven't seen it.
Malachi Stevenson with a big run on the far side of the field, across the 30-yard line down to the 29. That's a first down for Bradshaw. Again, it's an off-tackle run. And Malachi Stevenson, again, takes it, finds a hole and gets a first down.
Huge third down play because it keeps possession for the Bears, keeps the clock moving for them. And, we were talking about the Bears' defense. They haven't given up any points, and yet it doesn't appear that they've done anything particularly special. They just, kind of that bend and don't break. They've given up yards, but haven't really allowed any big plays or the one big play and no points.
Tackling well, too. Here's a snap. Gives the first man and breaks a couple tackles, gets a couple more yards. That was number 15. That is Caden Martinez, I believe, on the carry there. Yep, he was actually the punter for Bradshaw Mountain with the carry there. Everybody gets to run the ball, I guess, for Bradshaw Mountain right now. As we're down to 2:55 to go in the third quarter. Again, Bradshaw leads 14-0, but they're driving here 2nd and 8 for the Bears at the Coconino 25. Here's a snap. Give. Around the corner, and he's tripped up. Oh, and he does well. Pearson Watson again trips up the runner. And that was Dean there on the run, but loses about a yard on the play, and that'll bring up 3rd down in about a short 8. So, again, big play here coming up for Coconino's defense. They need to make a stop here and try to keep the Bears from scoring. And as we've seen so far in this game, it's probably 2-down territory for Bradshaw Mountain.
Yeah, you would think so. And honestly, I think Coconino right now is benefiting from kind of the pace that Bradshaw Mountain is using. They could actually be using a little bit more of the clock than they're using each night.
2 wide. There's a snap. Give the first man through, wrapped up, and not a lot of yards, if any. First man on the scene there for Coconino is number 24, and that is Bridger French, Cooper's little brother, sophomore, 5'11", 160-pound safety with the tackle. Brings up 4th now at the Coconino 26-yard line. And we've mentioned a play of the game kind of a thing a couple times. This would be the play of the game so far for Coconino. If they can the defense can stop Bradshaw here with 7 yards to go to the first down. Grady Rose brings the Bears up. Trying to draw offsides, and they're not. They're going to call a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. 1:17 to go in the quarter. Bradshaw leads Coconino 14-0 on the Highlands Fort County High School Sports Network. If you're joining us still on YouTube, and we have about a minute here as we're getting ready for another 4th down. 4th and 7 here for Bradshaw Mountain. And like we mentioned on the broadcast, Bradshaw's been bringing the defense. It's been all them. But, right now, Coconino's playing some pretty good defense as well. Some bend but not break. But they need to get the stop here and turn the ball over on downs. So Coconino needs to just sustain drives and get some points. That's obviously the key right at this point right now.
They absolutely do, and I don't think any of us thought kind of going in that this would be the position that the Panthers would be in this deep in the third quarter of this football game. But again, it's all about response, and the offense, having had some positive plays, they can still build on that. They have to make sure that they don't lay the football on the carpet. They have to make sure that, going back to what we talked about at halftime, they sustain and finish drives.
We're rejoining the radio broadcast here. Back here, it's 4th and 7 for Bradshaw Mountain. Play the game mentality here is Brady Rose is in the shotgun. And now we've got another timeout, on this time for Coconino, and we'll keep it right here. Gee, you think this is like the last play of the game and the score's tied with the way they just took timeouts here. But obviously it's something that Coconino didn't like and called a timeout, and they're going to regroup. Now watch that Bradshaw's going to come back and not be in the spread. They're going to come out with like 2 wide and a full line. Again, it's a chess match between Mike Lapsley and the longtime coach over there at Bradshaw Mountain, and it's like this sometimes between the both coaches.
Well, Bob Young, he's been at this game for a long time, had his team very well prepared for this game, for the level of competition that he was facing, and we kind of felt that coming in, that it would be this type of football game for the Bears, that they weren't going to roll over, they were going to play physical, and they were going to try to take the Panthers out of their comfort zone.
So here we go, 4th down. Again, spread offense. Back to passes, Grady Rose. He takes a long step back to the 40. Passes, and it's incomplete. Turnover on down, so the Coconino Panthers hold tight and will get the ball back offensively, I think. Was there a flag? I mean, it should be a turnover on downs, right?
Should be a turnover on downs.
Yeah.
There is a flag down on the play.
Where is it? So, oh boy. Let's see what this is. Oh, legal man downfield for Bradshaw. So it's going to be Coconino football. Yeah, so Coconino holds on down. So you had to hold your breath there for a little bit on some of these things. But yeah, legal man downfield because Brady Rose went back about 20 yards. And then, I don't know what they were trying to set up, but, a line to go out and play receiver unless you declare. We saw that earlier in the game that was called. But anyway, but it's turnover on downs. Coconino will get the ball, and they've got to put a drive in. They got to get a score here with 1:10 to go in the third quarter. It's time to get some points on the board and get back in this football game for the Panthers.
Plenty of time left in the game.
Mr. Positivity, Jeff Kennedy right here. There we go, 1st and 10, Coconino. There's a snap. Give is a Gabe Collado, tries to go on the left side, breaks a couple tackles, but again, Bradshaw ready for that run, but gain of a couple yards. They'll bring up 2nd and a short 8 for the Panthers. Again, they try that receiver, kind of receiver reverse kind of play with Gabe Collado, and again, for the second time they've ran that play, they were ready for it. So here we go, 2nd and down for Coconino. Here's the give is to Cooper French and gets down to about the 30-yard line. Decent game there by Cooper, gain of about maybe 5 yards on the play, and they'll bring up 3rd and about 4 from the Coconino 30.
Well, we said a while ago that every 3rd down play, both sides of the ball, is huge right now for the Panthers, and we're facing another one right here. And you have to start to wonder at what point, even if you don't have good field position, where you have to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, it's going to be 3rd and kind of gave more of the credit. It was 3rd and about 7 now, I guess. Here's a spy. Enoch Watson back to pass. Looks. Now he's going to run. Gets across the 30, and that's about it. Gets about down to 31, maybe 32-yard line. About the 31, I guess. Now bring up 4th down. 4th down and about, I think, probably going to be 4. Moving probably about 5. And we got it's the end of the third quarter. So the score going to the fourth quarter, Bradshaw 14, Coconino nothing. Back with the fourth quarter next on the Highland Ford Coverings High School Sports Network. Cannot see the scoreboard from where we are. And this smoke's getting thick too. Woo! I love prescribed burn season. Yippee! I don't. Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. Especially when the smoke starts settling down here. By the way, we're going to have some prescribed burns in the Flagstaff area next week. Look for that on the calfnews.com page coming up this weekend. Trying to get a score from the Prescott game. Prescott Flagstaff. Looks like Prescott's about to put more on the board. I don't know what the score is, though. We'll check on that. We'll pass that along to you folks. We're glad you're watching on YouTube tonight. Well, more of these kind of games as we go on, too. And here's the punt. It's Enoch Watson. It's the snap. There's the kick. Nice kick by Enoch there. Taking it to 32 and out of bounds, 35. Back here at Bradshaw Mountain High School, Enoch Watson punts the ball away, and it's taken by the receiver at the 32 and out of bounds at the 35. So that's where Bradshaw Mountain starts 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. As we start the fourth quarter, as the Bears lead 14-0, all the points have come in the first quarter for Bradshaw Mountain, and Coconino has just not got anything going offensively so far in this game. Not a lack of effort, though.
No, I'm really impressed with the way both defenses have played since the first quarter, like you mentioned.
So Bradshaw's going to break the huddle here, come to the line. You know, this is the time of the game where last week against Flagstaff, that Bradshaw put together a 10-minute, 59-second drive to win the game. Here's a snap and a flip there to the first man through, and that's going to be gang tackle there. Matias Ortiz was there. Andy Reese was there. And that was number 19. That was Malachi Stevenson with the run. That didn't get much. About a yard on the play, brings up 2nd and 9 for Bradshaw.
It's going to be very difficult, I think, for the Bears to put together that type of drive against this Coconino defense the way that they've played the last 3 quarters. We haven't really seen, big play capability from Bradshaw Mountain yet in this game.
Either team, really. I mean, that's the credit to the defenses, too. Grady Rose now in the shotgun, trips to the far side. Here's the snap. Fake the handoff. He's going to take it in his own, but doesn't get much. Crosses the 35 to 36, maybe another gain of a yard maybe on the play, maybe 2. I'll bring up 3rd and long here. 3rd and a short 9, long 8 now for Bradshaw Mountain. As again, Coconino's defense is stepping up, but got to figure out how to break through offensively to get within a touchdown. Again, Bradshaw's taking a long time to get out of the huddle, and this is all by design, as we saw last week. Bradshaw trying to milk every second off this clock right now, up by 2 scores. Grady Rose back to pass, looks, fires deep. He's got a man, and it is way overthrown by about a good 5 yards there. And that'll bring up 4th down. Bradshaw's going to punt the ball away, and Coconino holds him 3 and out. Again, Coconino gets the ball here, and they've got to start putting something together. Consistent drives and not shooting yourselves in the foot either with a penalty or turnover, that kind of thing. You've got to sustain something here. You got to get the ball in the end zone.
Well, and you probably are just going to have to take what the defense gives you. They're not going to give you a big play. They're not going to let you get something over the top. And at some point, you're probably going to have to make a play out of the passing game.
There's a kick. Jacob Klaus is going to let the ball go out of bounds at the 15-yard line. And that's where Coconino is going to start 1st and 10 at their own 15 with 10-14 to go in the game. You got to think, Jeff, this is the drive that they've got to get some. I'm harping on it, but this has to be the drive they got to put something in the end zone if they want to get back in this game.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And if it takes a while, if you have to run the football and do it 3 or 4 yards at a time and get points out of it, that's fine. You're going to have a frantic finish. But again, at some point, Enoch Watson, we're going to have to see some plays. We're going to have to see him get good protection and be able to make a play out of it.
Hand off to Cooper French. He turns it around at 25, across the 30-yard line. Gain about 17 yards. That's a 1st down for Coconino. As Cooper is well over 100 yards rushing. We'll check that here in just a few and get you kind of an updated stat sheet on him.
That's his strongest run since he came off the field, since he left off the field with the minor injury.
19 carries, 119 yards. I may not include that last run, so we'll double check that here in a few. Here's a snap on the end around. This is Gabe Collado. Across the 35, down about the 37-yard line. Good gain there. Gain about maybe 7 yards. They'll bring up 2nd and 3 from their own 37. 9:37 and change to go.
And that's really all you have to do. You 5-6 yards each play, get down the field, get in the end zone. You'll get the football back and still give yourself a chance to win.
Enoch Watson in the shotgun. Here's a snap. Gives to Cooper French. Tries to find a hole on the near side, far side. Crosses the 40, and that's where he's dropped down. And he gets a couple yards. Actually, he gets more than a couple. He gets about 5 yards on the play, close to a first down. That'll bring up 3rd and about 1 for Coconino. But
Running right there from Cooper French, waiting for his line to create a hole as he moved to his right. Not trying to hit too quickly. That could have easily been a no gain. Instead, he turns it into positive yardage.
Enoch Watson. Fake the snap there to Collado, but here's a give is the French, but his second effort's going to get Cooper the first down here. Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. They're spotting Cooper short. So basically, they're spotting him down in the first hit, but he bounced off that hit and looks like he got the first down, but now it's 4th down. That was a horrible spot. I mean, horrific spot. Well, 4th and short here. My goodness. Well, here we go. Here's a snap. Cooper tries to find a hole. I don't know. I don't know.
Looking at where they're going to spot the football. If it's similar to the last spot, he's going to be short.
Yeah, it's close. You would think they'd give him the edge here on the spot after they didn't the last time. I think we may have a measurement here. Nope, he was stopped short. First down, Bradshaw. And again, a questionable spot on that 3rd down run. Absolutely.
Yeah, I absolutely think it goes back to the 3rd down run. They probably lost a half yard to a yard on that spot. And to us up here, it was pretty clear.
Yeah, so turnover on downs, and that puts Bradshaw in good territory. 1st and 10 at the Coconino 40 with a 2-touchdown lead and 8 minutes to go. And like we said, we saw in the Sky Dome last week, Bradshaw milking 10 minutes and 59 seconds left in the game, and they took a knee in the side the 5-yard line in Flagstaff, and I would bet that is what Bob Young's going to dial up here. I'd be stunned if they see a pass out of this team right now. Here's a snap. Gives first man, Malachi Stevenson. No gain on the play, maybe a yard, and that'll bring up 2nd and 9.
You're up 2 touchdowns. There's no reason to put the ball in the air because an incomplete pass is going to stop the clock. Right now, the clock is your best friend.
Again, Bradshaw Mountain staying in the huddle. Just tick, 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 down to 7:30 to go in the game. This is what they do. They get the lead and they sit on it. Old school Bob Young football, there's no doubt. Again, Grady Rose just standing there, just letting the time come off. Here's a snap, and he's a big center push on the quarterback sneak. And that's going to gain about probably 5 yards there on just a dive play, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 3 for Bradshaw. And again, probably 2-down territory, and Coconino's got to stop him one more time here.
And that's just given what the defense, taking what the defense gives you in that situation. You line up over center, you've got, a huge gap there, hang on to the football, follow your center 4 or 5 yards down the field.
Bradshaw comes to the line. Again, just taking their sweet time here. Snap, give, first man through, bust across the tackle and get down about the 31-yard line. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be short. Nope, enough for a first down. Probably got a good spot. Now bring up 1st and 10. Jeff looks at me like, you're really going to see? Yeah. Yes, I'm really going to keep it. I'm going to be a little snarky. Just saying here.
It was certainly a more generous spot than what we got on our previous series.
That's a good way of saying it, Jeff. Generous. Yeah, I like that. Again, Grady Rose just standing there. Let the time come off the clock. We're down to 6 minutes and 6 seconds to go. Here's a handoff to Dean. And he gets about 2 or 3 yards. And inside the 30 to 27-yard line. And that'll bring up third down and about 6. Again, Bradshaw Mountain, they scored their points in the first quarter, and it's been a defensive stalemate from there. But Bob Young and the Bradshaw Mountain Bears sees that this is where you win a football game, is down here in the fourth quarter and ball control. And that'll bring up second down. Excuse me.
Well, and how you win a football game against a very good team. You got your opportunities early. You took advantage of them. You got the 2 touchdown lead, and like you said, from that point, it's just been good defense and hanging on to the football.
There's a snap again, the center push. This Grady Rose gets right behind his offensive line. Gains of 2, and that brings up third and about 4. But again, this is all ball control. Now down to 5:06 to go. Again, we'll be with Coconino again next week. This time in Lake Havasu, as Coconino goes outside of region play. Take on the Lake Havasu Knights, ranked 12th in the 4A. We'll have a pregame show for you at 6:30. Kickoffs at 7 o'clock. As get ready for playoff action, and we're just to see where if Coconino can't pull this out, where they're going to be in the rankings and how they can get back into that home field advantage situation for the first round. Games at Cromer in playoff time are great. Here's the snap, and there's a flag on the play. I think we've got a false start, I think, on Bradshaw, and that's the one thing that'll stop the clock here with 4:30 to go. So that'll go from a 3rd and 3 to about a 3rd and 8. They back it up here, and they'll be at the ball spotted at the 28-yard line. Flagstaff now down, I believe it's 21-0 to the Prescott Badgers over there in Prescott. Homecoming for Prescott, and if they win that, well, actually, Bradshaw wins this. The game next week here might be for the region title between Prescott and Bradshaw Mountain. Here's a snap. Give his first man through, breaks through. That's Malachi Stevenson, crosses the 20-yard line, down to the 20, inside the 20 to about the 18, and that's going to be enough for a first down. And again, now we're at 4 minutes to go, and this is Bradshaw Mountain football.
You really couldn't draw up a game plan, any better than this, and then go out and execute.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's boring but effective. I used that line last week against Flagstaff. It isn't the most exciting football in the world, but it is absolutely effective when you can do it.
It doesn't matter. The eyeball test is won at that point when you look at the final score.
Yeah,
they just kind of have to look at this and regroup. Now, a turnover here, a turnover, big play, still changes things. And yes, Dave, I am still an optimist.
Well, delay a game on Bradshaw, it's going to move him back. So 1st and 10, it's going to be 1st and 15 at the 22-yard line, I think. But now it's down to 3:40 to go in the game. There's a snap. Give is the man in motion. And he's hauled down and lost about a yard or 2 there. I'll bring up a second down. Martinez on the carry there. And that is he brought down Riker Patton on the tackle there and a host of others. And we got a timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout as well. 3:32 to go in the game. Bradshaw leads Coconino 14-0 on the Highlands 4 Coverings High School Sports Network. Boy, oh boy, folks. Boy, oh boy. I'll say this now. It's been a long time since I've seen a lot of questionable calls in a football game. And I'll leave it at that. Back when I played, if we found out the referees were from the same town, we started questioning it immediately. And, of course, we would have calls. I don't know if this crew's from Prescott, but, it's been some very questionable calls in this game.
Hey, back in my day, you got homered a lot. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, back in the day we did, really. Back here at Bradshaw Mountain, we got 2nd and about 14. Here's a snap. Gives the Dean on the end around. He's got some room, crosses the 20-yard line, trips over the 20-yard line, goes out and out of bounds about the 17. They're going to keep winding the clock. He went out of bounds. They're going to keep winding the clock. Okay. Yeah, he got out of bounds, but the referee keeps winding the clock. So, if you're watching on YouTube, I mentioned something about calls during the timeout, and there's another one. You got what the heck? Coconino calls a timeout. That's going to be they've got one left with 3:08 to go, down 14-0. Again, someone's going to have to explain to me why the clock's still running there, because he got out of bounds. I don't know. I don't want to harp on this either. I mean, referees, they're part of the game. They've got certain angles and make certain calls. It's a tough job, and there's not a lot of referees around. There's a referee shortage in the AIA, so I get that. But again, there's been too many calls. You're scratching your head in this one tonight.
And you know what? With that, and there's no question, there's been some head scratchers. But for this coaching staff, they're going to get in front of their players, and they're going to talk about where the game was actually won and lost outside of those questionable calls, and it is going to start with early preparation, just kind of one of those head in the game things. And we'll get a chance to talk to Coach about that, because really all the damage was done in those first 2 possessions of the very first half of the game, the very first quarter of the game. Back-to-back possessions, the Bears get points, and that's where we stand still this late in the game.
There's a quarterback push again. Man, they've got some nice yards in that quarterback draw, and they're down to inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. And that'll bring up a third. That'll be a 4th down, actually. So 4th. We got 4th and 2 from the Coconino 10 with 2:43 to go. No timeouts left for the Panthers. And basically, if Bradshaw can put it away with a touchdown here, if they get a first down, I wouldn't be surprised they took a knee. They did it last week. So here we go. 4th down. Grady Rose under center. Snap. Give. Malachi Stevenson. Not sure if he got it. It's close.
Depends on the spot.
It depends on the spot, so it probably is a first down. Wait, did I just say that? I apologize. Yeah, thank you very much, Jeff. Appreciate that. I think he's close. I don't know if he got it. Nope, they got a spot in the first down. I'm not going to repeat what the fan just said. It was clean, and now we've got a flag on the play. I'm going to guess it might be possibly on the Coconino bench.
Oh, that does stop the clock.
But this time, stop the clock. But yeah, listen, Bradshaw Mountain was the better team. They took advantage of the turnover in the first quarter. They maintained the clock. They kept Coconino out of the end zone. Give credit where credit is due. Bradshaw was a better team tonight. So, a game has never been won or lost on an officiating call. It's always been the play on the field and who's been the better team. I stand by that, even though I am questioning a few things. It didn't cost Coconino the game. Bradshaw was just the better team tonight.
No, but it did cost them opportunities.
Well, and the turnover did, obviously. But, a couple times, you're right. First and goal for Bradshaw Mountain, 2:09 to go. And we'll see if I would think probably Bradshaw will probably go with the score here just to put the game away. And we're running the clock. But we'll see. Like I said, they took a knee last time in Flagstaff. They're lined up as they're going to go here. Grady Rose. Here's a snap. Give. And short of the goal line. Give there was the number 10, Brock Fringer, with the carry. But, Bradshaw doesn't carry. It's 2nd and goal, right? But, we're down to 1:40 to go. We'll hear from Coach Mike Lapsley at the end of the game here after he talks to the team and get his thoughts. And it's the first time in a while that Coconino's been shut out of a football game. But like I said, I don't know if there's a better team. I don't think there's a better defensive team right now in the Grand Canyon region than Bradshaw Mountain. Maybe one of the best defensive teams in the state right now, that Bradshaw. Yeah, absolutely. Very impressive defensive effort by Bradshaw Mountain for sure. Snap. Grady Rose is going to keep it and does not get the touchdown. He's still at the 1 yard line. That'll bring up third down. But now we're under a minute to go with 59 seconds to go and counting. Again, Bradshaw scored the 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, and that's it so far.
Yeah, and what's probably going to be lost in this final score? You talk about the quality defense that the Bears are. How about the quality defense of the Panthers? I mean, this is a good defensive football team that played extremely well for 3.5 quarters. The defensive side of the ball, they weren't able to generate points, but that's not their job. They were certainly able to keep the Bears off the scoreboard for those 3.5 quarters.
And they took a knee, and that's it. So the Bradshaw Mountain Bears win this football game, an upset over Coconino, 14-0, and the Bears are squarely in range of the state playoffs right now and a region title. And they get to do that against the Prescott Badgers, their rivals, next week. So, ironically, a couple weeks ago, it was Coconino was setting up to be a region champion and play for a region title, and now the rivalry between Bradshaw Mountain and Prescott might honestly be for the. Actually, it does. I think it does set it up for the region title.
It sets up a huge game next week, and I know that's not necessarily the story that we tell here, but who would have thought several weeks ago that this Bradshaw Mountain team would be in the position that they are right now?
Never would have thought it.
Never would have thought it. But they've held their last 3 opponents. What'd you say? 3 points?
3 points in 3 games.
3 weeks?
Yeah. I'll do the math. They're allowing a point a game in the last 3 weeks.
That's going to win a lot of football games.
And I don't know how you do that in football, but it's a point a week in the last 3 games.
Win you a lot of football games.
We'll take a timeout, and we'll be back, and we'll be joined with Coach Mike Lapsley.
Not sure where I am or how I got here. But I'm Bubba Bear, and this is the Halloween edition of the Northern Arizona Peak 7000 High School Sports Show, where we will showcase high school sports here in the Northland. We have our Friday Night Lights Flagstaff style segments, and this week's feature is the Flagstaff High School volleyball team and Coach Beth Highland. Well, let's go. To another episode. My vision and my goal is to have a 30-minute show to highlight high school sports throughout the school year from all the schools here in Flagstaff, and eventually branch off into Winslow, Williams, and Sedona. We'll be interviewing coaches and student athletes on the featured sport for that week. We'll also have our Friday Night Lights Flagstaff style segments to finish it off. After Tuesday night's win over the Panthers, I tagged along with Arizona Daily Sun sports writer Eric Newman while he interviewed Coach Beth Highland. The fun, energetic coach talked about having senior player Berlin Fowler back after missing 3 weeks with an injury.
Very important. She's a great leader out there. She brings a lot of energy. Plus, she brings that leadership in the middle of the court. She's a fantastic blocker. She gets her hands across the net quick, which is good. And then offensively, we just trust her out there. And every day she practices, she gets more and more confident. So, yeah, I think they actually rally around each other. But yeah, she's an important part of our starting lineup, and it's nice to have her back. Yeah, and that's what I told them in the last time out. I was, you guys, there's some crazy ball going out there, but what's the best thing happening is that they're transitioning well. They're focused on the court. I mean, you look at how crazy it got, and we were right there picking up tips, picking up, miss hits. We were all over the place, so that's what you want to see.
I asked the coach about her doing the dance to floss towards the end of the third quarter, and this is what she said.
No, I told her I was going to dance for her because she did a great job out there, so that's why.
Speaking with senior Berlin Fowler about how it feels being back in action, being the end of the regular season, the rivalry game, and what was going on in her head during the match.
It's amazing. Like, I missed it so much, and it's really nice to be able to play with the girls again. It's really nice to end the season like this, like before state, but yeah, it's really nice. It's a really big rivalry match. It's definitely a mental game in the end of it. Definitely don't mess up. Just keep the consistency, stay focused, stay relaxed.
Thank you, Coach Highland and Lady Eagles, and good luck as you prepare for the state tournament. Now, Are you ready for some Friday Night Lights Flagstaff style? Let's get it! Another tough outing for the Eagles last week as they fell to the Bradshaw Mountain Bears 19-0 at the Sky Dome. We didn't get a chance to visit with the Eagles as they prepare to go down the hill to face the Prescott Badgers, wishing the Eagles all the luck to get back on track with the win. The Panthers picked up where they left off the following week.
And Coconino had a tough time dealing with Bradshaw in the first quarter, and the turnover in the first was rough. Bradshaw scored off of that.
Not sure where I am or how I got here, but I'm Bubba Bear, and this is the Halloween edition of